Welcome back. The remains of the late South African anti-apartheid icon Nelson Mandela have finally been laid to rest in his home village of Kono in a ceremony attended by family members and some world leaders. This brings to an end 10 days of official mourning declared after Mr. Mandela's death on December 15th. We have details in the CFI report.
It's the last image of Nelson Mandela, a final funeral service for Madiba in his family property in Kono, his childhood village.
May the grace of the Lord be sufficient now and whenever the longing for Tata becomes unbearable.
At that very moment, 3 helicopters carrying South African flags are flying over the village, like that day in 1994 when Nelson Mandela became the first black president of South Africa. Then the cameras turn away, complying with the family's wishes. The burial took place in a strictly private ceremony. A few hours earlier, a religious chant followed by the South African national anthem opened the last official funeral service. After 10 days of mourning and tributes, this final farewell was marked by pure emotion. Ahmed Katrada, Mandela's close friend and prison mate on Robben Island, had a hard time holding back his tears.
Farewell, my dear brother, my mentor, my leader. I have lost a brother. My life is in a void, and I don't know who to turn to. Thank you very much.
Emotion and laughter sometimes. But everyone wanted to hail one last time this icon of reconciliation, this comrade in arms they fought with. But Mandela was also a simple grandpa.
We shall miss you, Tatomkhulu. We shall miss your stern voice when you were not pleased. We shall miss your laughter.
And Jacob Zuma promised to make sure Mandela's legacy lives on.
As your journey ends today, ours must continue in earnest. One thing we can assure you of today, Tata, as you take your final steps, is that South Africa will continue to rise.
South Africa, which on the 15th of December turned a page of history.
The plight of small-scale African farmers and their ability to feed Africa's urban population is the focus of a meeting of experts in Abidjan, Ivory Coast. The meeting will explore means of increasing production among African farmers and the threats posed by foreign investors who cultivate land in Africa for export to their home countries. Details in the CFI report.
Will Africa's small farmers be able to meet the needs of the 1 billion people who tomorrow will live in Africa's cities? This was the question raised on Friday by experts of the FARM Foundation. Small farms in Africa are threatened by huge industrial concerns. The aim of the meeting was to determine how small farmers could increase both the size of their holdings as well as their yields. If the majority of these farms, which are mostly family-owned, if they fail to enter into the economic circuit and fail to earn decent livings from their activities, what will become of them? Either they will crowd into the shanty villages around the big cities, or they will seek work in other sectors such as industry, if those sectors develop. There are also concerns about the scarcity of arable land, which is being sold off to urban developers and multinationals. Qatari, Saudi Arabian and Korean sovereign funds are buying up land across the continent. They prefer to use the land to grow crops for export rather than meet the needs of local communities. They are beginning to take everything. It's too much. Before it was coffee and cocoa. Today, it's rubber and palm oil. They are taking up large areas of land, and land that has been put aside for cultivating rubber. So there is a problem. Another problem is the freshness of produce. Fruits and vegetables often fail to survive the long overland journeys to urban markets. A tremendous amount of produce spoils. We have to address this problem of waste, which is one of the reasons why there is an insufficient amount of produce. Reducing this waste is key to increasing production to feed urban populations by 2050. Millions of Africa's small farmers complain that they are forced to undersell their produce in order to compete with the mass of cheaper foreign imports. Local produce is no longer the choice of consumers. Even such traditional staples as rice are being edged out by Asian competitors.
We now take our second break. Weather is up next. Time now to join the Central Forecast Office for a look at the weather.
The source assures us of a continuous flow, and from there, everything follows. And for those of us who know what the River Gambia stands for, understanding its sustainability in all aspects of life is easily confirmed. The River Gambia provides nutritious delicacies as food, while it provides its wildlife a balanced ecosystem. This river, as a sanctuary, is committed to its inhabitants' needs without season. And as you travel along, all these values are replicated in one company, Elton, just like the River Gambia, leads in its commitment to values that matter most. Elton, championing the vision for a new generation.
Good evening, viewers, and welcome to the weather segment. I'm your presenter, Hadinja. A relatively warm and sunny atmosphere prevails across the country this afternoon. Satellite picture indicates convective activities over the southern parts of Africa. Tonight's forecast, a partly cloudy and relatively cool atmosphere is expected to prevail with occasional breezy conditions, while the day tomorrow is expected to be partly cloudy and cool, with dust haze intrusions becoming warm and sunny in the afternoon. Winds will be northerly in direction, becoming northeasterlies, and the speed will be about 10 to 20 kilometers per hour. Morning temperatures will be 18 degrees over the Greater Banjul area, 17 over West Coast, North Bank and Lower River record 15 degrees Celsius, while Central and Upper River record 17 and 16 degrees Celsius respectively. Afternoon temperatures will be 29 over the Greater Banjul area, West Coast will record 31 degrees Celsius, 32 and 34 over North Bank and Lower River respectively, while Central and Upper River record 33 and 34 degrees Celsius respectively. Low tides will be 0.4 meter at 2:59 a.m. and 0.3 meter at 3:05 p.m., whilst high tides will be 1.5 meters at 9:24 a.m. and 1.7 meters at 9:53 p.m. The waves will be about 2 to 3 meters southeasterly swells. The sun will rise at 7:23 a.m. and will set at 18:40 p.m. Thanks for watching and do enjoy the evening.
From weather there, a look at the headlines once more. More than a dozen top-notch Nigerians from the Federal Ministry of Transport are eyeing the Gambia for investment after hearing that the port of Banjul is free from piracy attacks. Safety on the highways, lawmakers move closer to criminalizing the use of